Hello, people. I'm Safety, and I'm here today to help you keep it safe. Let's talk about Aramark's food safety standards. It's essential that we follow safe food practices so that our consumers, customers, and clients don't get sick. You play an important role in ensuring their safety and protecting the Aramark brand by taking pride in preparing and serving safe food every time you come to work. Remember, you can always ask a manager if you're unsure what to do or if there's any local requirements you need to follow. But first, let's walk through the standards together. The reason I'm here today is simple. I care about you, and I want to talk to you about safe food practices. Hold on a second. Tracy, are you sick? I'm so sorry. You shouldn't come to work if you're sick. It's time to head home and get some rest. But first, let your manager know that you became sick at work. Eat some chicken noodle soup. But not here, at home. Hey, don't come to work if you're sick with any symptoms of diarrhea, vomiting, fever, or infection. Let's take care of you and the people who are eating our food. At Aramark, everyone is expected to follow the hygiene standards when entering and working in the kitchen. Hey, hold on, is there a party today? You're just coming to work, aren't you? Did you come straight from the club? Thanks for coming to work. This looks good for the club, kinda, but this isn't the way to follow the hygiene standard. From hair restraints to treating wounds, from jewelry to fingernails, from where you eat and drink to what you wear, cleanliness and hygiene are essential to this job. And always remember to wash your hands as soon as you enter the kitchen. Change your disposable gloves between tasks. Following the hygiene standards will help keep our food safe. Let's talk about a very important job, receiving. Now, no, I'm not that kind of receiving. I'm talking about receiving deliveries that come in from suppliers. Two big pieces to this. Taking the temperature of food you receive and then labeling it. Use a digital thermometer to make sure refrigerated foods are colder than 41 degrees Fahrenheit and frozen foods are frozen solid. Record temperatures on the receiving log. Foods must be rejected if the temperatures are not met, cans are dented, or quality issues are noticed. Once all temperatures have been verified and rejected products have been set aside with a do not use sign, a receiving manager can sign the invoice and the driver can leave. All contents must be labeled with the receive date. In order to serve safe food, you must store food the safe way. Let's start with the refrigerator. Yep, that's cold. Store refrigerated food at 41 degrees Fahrenheit and below. Nice job storing food in the correct order. Raw foods at the bottom with ready-to-eat foods at the top. All food must be stored at least 6 inches off the ground and dry storage 18 inches from the ceiling. And don't forget, use first in, first out, or what we call FIFO. Thank you. Just like temperature is important, having all food labeled correctly is very important. Any prepared food needs a label and must include the product name, the opening production date, freeze-by date, use-by date, and the associate's initials. Refer to the use-by date poster for the shelf life of food. Also, once food is open, store in-use food in the appropriate food storage containers. Don't forget to store heavier items in the waist level, in the strike zone, which is below the shoulders and above the knees. One of the sneaky enemies to food safety is pests. Mice, cockroaches, and ants are just a few of the culprits. How do you know if you have pests in your location? There are a few signs like droppings, gnawed food packaging, flies, or sometimes you see the pest itself. Hey, are we serving bug soup here today? Yes, some of these pests love hanging out in your kitchen. And yes, some of these pests are bigger than others. If you do see one, record it in the pest sighting log.
Notify your manager immediately so they can contact the pest control provider to correct the situation. The good news is you can protect yourself against pests. It starts by keeping your area clean and organized. Use the master cleaning schedule. If you see something that's not clean, don't wait for someone else to clean it. Take action. Clean, clean, clean. Keep lids on trash cans and on food containers and storage areas. Keep windows and doors shut to prevent pests from entering the kitchen. That's just gross. I'll make sure a pest control provider takes care of that thing. In the meantime, keep your end of the deal clean as you go and do your best to keep pests out.
When it comes to handling food, cleaning and sanitizing allows you to prepare safe food so that cross-contamination doesn't occur. Isn't that right? You have to clean before you can sanitize. Use the green bucket for detergent to clean and the red bucket for sanitizer. There's a correct method and temperature for mixing sanitizer. Test your concentration on the correct sanitizer test strip every 2 hours. If the concentration doesn't meet standards, replace it. We good? There's also a correct method for using the 3-compartment sink. The first sink contains detergent solution. The middle sink is for very hot and clean water. And the third sink has sanitizer solution. Again, test the sanitizer with test strip and also record on the sanitizer dispenser log. Items like cutting boards, knives, utensils must be cleaned, sanitized, and allowed to air dry between tasks. And all food contact surfaces must be free of food, grease, or soil buildup.
To do your job correctly, you need to use the proper tools. Make sure your food handling equipment and storage areas are working properly and maintaining correct temperatures. Check the internal hanging thermometer and record those temperatures. Make sure that temperature control equipment is maintained at the correct temperatures. Do this by checking internal hanging thermometer and record those temperatures in the refrigerator, freezer, and hot holding equipment logs. Inform your manager if temperatures are out of range. Hey, I was just about to use that as an example. Anyway, when taking the temperatures of food, only use digital thermometers that can be verified weekly and recorded in the calibration verification log. Learn the correct process to validate and calibrate digital thermometers. Make sure all equipment and utensils are used properly, such as correct color cutting boards and correct thermometers. Hey, make sure only food is prepped in the food prep sink and only hands are washed in the hand washing sink. Do not block hand sinks. Keep all locations free of food, grease, and dirt buildup. Continually refer to the master cleaning schedule. When it comes to handling food, everyone is responsible for following the standards and doing the right thing every step of the way. Why? Because the last thing we want is for someone to get sick. And that starts with you having good hygiene and practicing safe food handling. It means your work environment is clean and organized. And as always, it means food is received and labeled and stored properly. Now, let's talk about taking temperatures. Oh, not my temperature, the food temperature. It's important that food is cooked and held at the right temperature. Why? Because if not, bacteria can grow in the food and someone can get sick. What's this?
Your bill.
Take and record final production temperatures for all food. Whether cooking, reheating, cooling, or handling hot or cold prepared foods, keep temperatures recorded on the appropriate logs every 2 hours. Make sure you sanitize, wipe, and store the digital thermometer in its protective sleeve after every measurement. Keep raw and ready-to-eat food separate. All food contact surfaces, including cutting boards, utensils, and knives, must be washed and sanitized between tasks. Preparing food in a safe way is not just about cooking or reheating, it's also about cooling it properly to prevent bacterial growth. This is very, very important. Food must be cooled from 140 degrees Fahrenheit to 70 degrees within 2 hours. Then it must be brought down to 41 degrees Fahrenheit within the next 4 hours. That's a total of 6 hours cooling. You could also break food down into small sized containers and use things like ice wands or blast chillers. Thank you, but that's not what I had in mind when I said blast chillers. This is not an ice wand. It's not even cold. Look, recording on the cooling log is vital. It's not just for hot foods being cooled, but it's also for cold foods being prepared that have exceeded the proper temperature. Temperatures must be taken in 2-hour intervals and recorded. If temperature requirements aren't met, do not serve the food. Notify your manager and record it on the waste log.
One of the key ways we can help our guests is by knowing exactly what we serve and how it's prepared. Food allergies aren't something we take lightly. I get it. Allergens. Okay, where's the rest of you? Typical, as we may not always know what food contains allergens. These 3 are just a few examples of food allergies our customers may be dealing with. The #1 thing to remember is this: never guess if they exist in the food. Someone can be seriously harmed if we guess incorrectly. Always err on the side of caution. Have your manager step in. Any of you want to say anything? No problem. Just thought I'd ask. Refer to the allergy policy and poster when needed. The key thing to know is the top allergens our customers may face and to know what to do if someone has an allergic reaction. Knowing what to do can save someone's life.
Anytime you cater or deliver food, it's important that you maintain the Aramark standards regarding hygiene, receiving, storage, food handling, cooling, and cleaning and sanitizing. By following our standards and completing all required logs, you help deliver on our promise of safety assurance in food and environments. Hey, great job maintaining 140 degrees Fahrenheit and recording it on a hot holding log. Also, when using the hot holding equipment, make sure temperatures have reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit before putting any food inside.
Check.
And what about the equipment for cold foods? Are you maintaining 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below?
Check.
Are temperatures being monitored and recorded in the hot and cold holding log every 2 hours?
Check.
Are you labeling and maintaining all food according to Aramark standards?
Check.
Great job. And thank you for all that you do and for following Aramark standards. Following the food safety standards is key to maintaining our strong safety culture here at Aramark. So let's get out there and do it right. I'll be there with you the whole time. Why? Because I'm safety, and together we can keep it safe.